Mommy, if Dad's gone, the company's mine, right?
Hearing my brother's words, I perked up just in time to hear Mom say,
Of course, John. Les, I've done the math, and there should be at least $2 million in inheritance. With his cancer insurance payout, we can live it up for a while.
Talk about a bonus. Gotta thank our dear old dad for this.
I was about to explode with anger. What jerks. And forgivable. I absolutely cannot let them have their way. Just as I was about to yell, I got a call from Dad in the hospital. This story goes back several months. My name is Ken. I'm a 33-year-old architect working at a design office. I live alone in an apartment close to my childhood home. It's a bit lonely without a significant other, but I'm living a fulfilling life doing what I love. Today, on my day off, I had planned to meet with my dad, George, back home.
Ken, how have you been?
My dad, who showed up for our meeting, had his usual kind smile. Dad, it's been a while. Have you lost some weight? Being a business owner must be tough.
Work's busy, but I'm good. Let's get going.
Dad and I occasionally meet up like this to go out for a meal. Today, Dad invited me to join him for some volunteer work, a small child care facility on the outskirts of town. The sign reads Cherry Blossom Home. Hello, Mr. Principal.
Hello, George, Ken, thank you for coming today.
A kindly-looking elderly principal greeted us. Dad and the principal were chatting amiably. Dad grew up in Cherry Blossom Home. After leaving the home, he put himself through college and started an architectural firm. Despite being an orphan, Dad made it on his own through sheer effort to become a business owner. I've always admired Dad for that. On his days off, Dad would invite me to volunteer at Cherry Blossom Home with him. Like me, Dad is qualified in architecture, so we can repair furniture and playground equipment.
George, Ken, you've been a big help today.
After finishing repairs on beds, chairs, and the swing set, the principal thanked us as we were leaving. I'm happy to be of help. And for Dad, visiting the principal, who's like a father to him, must be important too. As we were walking side by side, thinking about grabbing some food, a sleek black luxury car pulled up next to us. The window rolled down, and it was our mother. Driving next to her was my brother, John.
Oh, it's you guys. Visiting that orphanage again?
Mom asks.
It's embarrassing if people find out Dad's an orphan. Let's go, Mommy.
John said, chewing his gum loudly. I wanted to retort how his dyed hair and lack of a steady job were the real embarrassments, but I held back. I knew it was pointless to say anything to them.
We're going out to eat, so just heat up some pre-cooked food for yourself and fold the laundry while you're at it.
All right, Lisa.
After Dad's response, Mom rolled up the window without another word, and they drove off. Dad and I silently watched them go. Mom and my brother have always looked down on Dad, ridiculing him to no end. Honestly, I think Mom looks pretty, just on the outside. She calls herself a glamorous witch and seems to be active on social media. But that's only possible because she uses most of Dad's earnings for herself. She badmouths Dad for being an orphan and for coming from a foster home, calling him a worthless man among other things, ever since we were kids. She probably sees Dad as nothing more than an ATM that follows orders. What's worse, my brother takes all of this to heart and joins in on mocking Dad. We're two siblings, but Mom has doted only on my brother, John, since we were little. She's always ignored me, lavishing all her care and giving whatever my brother wanted. Thanks to that, my brother's turned into a real mama's boy, still glued to her side. Even past 30, he still calls her mommy and lets her decide what he wears and eats. I was dumbfounded when I heard Mom accompanied him to every driving school session. Dad, isn't it hard living with those two? I asked Dad that.
I'm used to it by now. Besides, they're still family. I have to do what I can.
Dad spoke in a lonely voice and went back to the house he shared with Mom and my brother. All I could do was watch them go. A month later, Mom called to say Dad had collapsed and I rushed to the hospital. Dad, what happened to you? Dad, looking even thinner than a month ago, said,
I got tested, and they found cancer. It seems to be quite advanced.
Dad has advanced stomach cancer, and according to the doctor, he may only have 3 months left. Neither of us expected this to happen in his 60s, and even Mom was panicking.
How could you let it get this far?
Because you and John have been overworking him. The stress must have been terrible.
Ken, how dare you speak to your mother like that? Oh, this is just awful. You're nothing like John.
And where is this brother of mine during all this? Off playing slots again. As I was arguing with Mom, Dad quietly said,
Can't you two stop? I'm okay. Please go home for today.
Sorry, Dad. I'll come back again. I left the hospital room then, but I couldn't sleep, worried about Dad's condition and shocked by the prognosis. Later, at Dad's request, I took over changing his clothes and doing the shopping. As expected, Mom and my brother didn't lift a finger. Still, wanting Dad to be as comfortable as possible, I visited his hospital room between work and took care of him for 2 months. One day, when I went back home to get Dad's clothes and personal items, I overheard Mom and my brother talking in the living room.
Mommy, if Dad's gone, the company's mine, right?
Shocked by my brother's words, I listened as Mom said,
Of course, John. And I've calculated there should be at least $2 million in inheritance.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll buy another car.
That's great. A CEO has to have a nice car after all. And with his cancer insurance payout, we can live it up for a while.
Talk about a bonus. Gotta thank our dear old dad for this.
I was about to explode with anger. What jerks! Unforgivable. I absolutely cannot let them have their way. Just as I was about to yell, I got a call from Dad.
Kim, could you come to the hospital room by yourself from now on?
I managed to control my emotions and went to Dad's hospital room. Dad had gotten even thinner recently, and his complexion was poor.
Kim, thank you for everything.
What are you talking about, Dad? Just tell me if there's anything I can do. Sitting next to the bed, Dad started, There's something important I need to tell you. I listened quietly to Dad, holding back tears as I responded. It's almost time for visiting hours to end, so I'll go. About what we talked about earlier, Dad, just focus on your health for now.
Thank you, Ken. See you.
In the end, that was my last conversation with Dad. After that, Dad's condition suddenly worsened, and he passed away the next day. I cried holding my emaciated father's hand in the hospital room. Even Mom and my brother were crying, albeit seemingly insincerely at this time. Things were quite difficult after that. Mom was the chief mourner. In name only, of course, she did nothing. Instead, she was fully made up, even suggesting we lower the funeral's quality.
He doesn't have any relatives, so the bare minimum should be fine, she said.
Dad's colleagues and business partners will be attending the funeral. Don't do anything embarrassing things. Clinging to Mom as usual, my brother said this while she tied his funeral tie.
Just do what Mommy says. Don't waste money on a dad like that.
You be quiet, brother. I'll pay for it. So at least let us have a proper funeral. So, I took care of all the funeral and memorial services. It seems Dad was beloved by many, as a lot of people came to offer their condolences. That made me very happy. After the funeral, as we were approaching the first 7-day memorial, with just the 3 of us left, Mom started saying,
Finally, he's gone. Now, the $2 million inheritance is ours, right, John?
And Dad's company too. Man, I'm finally the CEO. Hey, Ken, you better announce your inheritance. Got it?
So start talking about this when the funeral had barely ended. Disgusted, I said, Dad had asked the lawyer to handle the inheritance procedures. I have the contact details.
What? Why didn't you say something sooner? Call that liar right now.
Exactly, Ken. Hurry up.
I called the number on the business card Dad had given me. After a while, A female lawyer in her mid-30s arrived.
I'm Emily, the lawyer. I've been entrusted by George regarding the inheritance matters. I am sorry for your loss.
My brother, grinning, said to the bowing lawyer.
Huh? I thought you'd be some old guy since you're a lawyer, but you're pretty. Got a boyfriend?
Oh, John, you like this one. I'd prefer someone younger.
Stop it. Thank you for coming from so far. Please, come in. We let Miss Emily into the room, and the three of us listened to what she had to say.
Let me explain. First, regarding the company, I was informed by George that it would be transferred to a known company, and the process has begun.
What? Exclaimed my brother.
What do you mean? I was supposed to become the president, wasn't I?
I have not heard anything of the sort. For the sake of the employees, it will be merged with a company that George was fond of and had insights. The other company has also agreed, so there's nothing that can be done.
That damn abandoned father. Shit.
Mom starts talking in a panic.
Calm down, John. Hey, the inheritance is ours, right? It should be around $2 million.
Miss Emily answered calmly.
No, there's nothing like that. The business wasn't that prosperous to begin with, and the remaining assets have all been allocated for the company's handover.
What? What do you mean? What about our money?
We were supposed to get $2 million. Mommy, what does this mean?
Ma'am, you've received a considerable sum from the cancer insurance payout. I'm entrusted with the will that wants it to be considered a bequest.
What are you talking about? That's already been spent on a car.
Hey, liar. Dad had a bunch of insurance policies, right? What about the payout?
Regarding the life insurance, George had canceled all of it before his passing, so there's no insurance payout. I've only been informed that all of it was used up.
What? How could he have spent such a large sum before he died?
That damn father. Was he planning to leave us nothing?
Watching my mother and brother fall apart, I saw Miss Emily out. This is quite the situation, said Miss Emily on her way out, to which I could only give a wry smile. Looking at the night sky and taking a walk, I reminisced about the last conversation I had with my father.
Ken, would you take over the company when I'm gone? There isn't much in assets, but I should be able to leave some insurance money.
What are you talking about, Dad?
You were the only one in the family who treated me well. I hope to leave you something, even if it's just a little.
Dad, I admire you for building up the company with your own efforts starting from scratch. I want to strive on my own just like you, Dad. I don't need the company or the insurance money.
But
if there's any property to be left, I want you to use it as you wish, Dad. I'll help too.
Ken, thank you. Thank you.
Walking, I found myself at Cherry Blossom Home before I knew it. Despite it being night, the principal was in the yard and ran over to me crying when she noticed me.
Ken, George passed away so suddenly. He told me not to come to the funeral, but actually,
Principal, my father was grateful to you and Cherry Blossom Home as well.
I also found out recently George had donated a lot to Cherry Blossom Home not too long ago. So much. Now, we can buy what the children need. We might even be able to rebuild. Thank you, but I wish George could have lived. I wished he could have been happy.
While comforting the crying principal, I was crying too. Looking up at the starry sky, I murmured in my heart, Dad, you did it. You really did it. Several months later, recently, I've been seeing Miss Emily, the lawyer, occasionally for the detailed procedures and confirmations regarding the company's transfer and inheritance matters. Today was supposed to be the last day I would meet Miss Emily. After thanking her for all she had done, Miss Emily once again expressed her condolences and appreciation for my efforts. It was time to say goodbye to Miss Emily. Would I never see her beautiful face again? As I was sending off Miss Emily, thinking about how kind and considerate she had been, a familiar car pulled up next to Miss Emily, and out jumped my brother with a metal bat. Hey, what are you doing? I shouted and rushed to restrain my brother.
Shut up. Let go.
My brother was red in the face, pinned to the ground, struggling. Were you trying to attack Ms. Emily? What is this?
It's all because of her. I didn't get the company or the money because of this woman. Damn it.
What nonsense! This is completely misguided anger. I knew he was foolish, but not to this extent. While protecting a trembling Miss Emily, I called the police. In my brother's car, not only a bat but also rope and a stun gun were found, leading to his quick arrest. Upon hearing this, Mom's face turned beet red.
You're sending John to prison, despite being family. You heartless person.
I said quietly, I no longer consider you or him family. My only family was my deceased father. I'm cutting ties with you both. Mom continued to rant, but I ignored her and calmly cooperated with the police investigation. It was later revealed that my brother had been persistently mentioning Ms. Emily's name online, engaging in vulgar defamation and harassment. He had even made threats of harm, so there was a rush to identify him. For the assault attempt, my brother received a prison sentence, and Ms. Emily filed a civil lawsuit against him for defamation. Compensation was also ordered to be paid. Please take as much as you can get from him, so he might reflect on his actions. I'm truly sorry for what happened. As I bowed my head, Ms. Emily said with a slight smile, I will do so. Thank you for saving me from danger. Please find happiness from now on, Ken. Several months later, during the cherry blossom season, I was at Cherry Blossom Home. Today, it wasn't for volunteering, but for a business meeting. With the funds accumulated from my father's donation, Cherry Blossom Home decided to rebuild the aging building. The principal approached me, wanting me to take on the architectural design. I initially refused, citing my inexperience, but the principal was persistent.
George always said with joy, Ken will become a fine architect. He's already surpassed me. Since this is possible thanks to George, I really want to ask you, Ken.
After hearing that sentiment, I couldn't refuse. I want to create a wonderful building that can bring even a bit of happiness to the children and the principal. Surely, my father would be pleased with that. As for my brother, after his sentencing, he remained unchanged. No, he apparently became even worse. Although he wasn't sent to prison due to a suspended sentence, he's said to beg my mother for money daily, drinking from noon and drowning in debt from gambling on slot machines and horse races. My mother is harassed by my brother every day. The large house they lived in thanks to my father, and the car bought with the insurance money, were sold to pay for the compensation and bail for my brother's case with Miss Emily. Now, they apparently live in a rundown apartment together. Her once praised beauty now resembles that of an old woman, I heard from an acquaintance. It's their own doing, but I hope they reflect even a little on how they tormented my father and spoiled my brother, turning him into a worthless mama's boy. One more thing to add. I've decided to marry Miss Emily, the lawyer, soon. She secretly told me that she was drawn to me after I saved her from my brother's violent actions. She's a bit strict, but I also deeply love Miss Emily, who is kind and reliable. I want to continue working hard, aspiring to be like my father, and build a warm family.